Hey guys, Scarlet Darkwood here. Hope everyone's had a great week. I want to continue along the same vein this week with talking about the watchtowers. I did the video on the Watchers, so what are the watchtowers? Is that where the Watchers reside when they're here? Is it a special place for them? I'll go into a little bit of some of the information I found on the watchtowers. Apparently the watchtowers are supposed to represent the four directions, north, south, east, and west, but it's not just the physical direction, it's what they mean, it's the attributes that go along with these directions. So you have the four watchtowers. So for example, north is earth. So that's going to have attributes of wisdom, understanding, anything earthly of the body. It's just earth, earth elementals. And gnomes are a little depiction of the elemental aspect of earth. South is fire, and that's manifestation, it's energy, it's movement, it's power. It's like putting a fire under somebody. And so those attributes are anything that moves towards manifestation, has motion, has power, it has excitement and adventure behind it. And the elemental aspect of that, or the depiction of that, is the salamander, the fire elemental. And then you have the west, which is water. And as we know, water has to do with emotions, a lot of times relationships, a lot of feeling, in some cases maybe getting deep into our intuition and really getting into our emotions, how we feel about things. And then east is air, and air is all about decision making, creativity, decisiveness, clarity, communication. And if you think of the tarot cards and the four suits, that's what those represent as well, those elements. You'll have that in tarot. So what is a watchtower then? Okay, we talk about it being representing a direction and have attributes with it. So what does it do? A watchtower is a special place where you have a guard on duty to watch over. It could be a town, it could be a place. It's protection. A watchtower signifies protection. And so, for example, in Wicca or witchcraft, or if you're casting a circle, you will call on the watchtowers to come at 4 different points on your circle to make a protective barrier around you. And so you call those elements, and you call them by name. You call them in by what they do, you can invoke them, and you greet them, and you treat them as a presence, as a real presence, and they're there to protect you in your work when you cast a circle. And there are 4 different points so that you are protected and that you have these attributes and these elements. That's what it's for. That was it's a ceremonial magic type of thing. That's kind of more or less what it is. It's just a ceremonial magical calling in of something. In some practices, people use calling in the elements to start their day. They get up and they do a special ritual, and they will call in all the watchtowers elements to protect their day, to make it go well, and it's just a way of acknowledging those attributes in your life and in a day. So that's another way you can use that. If you look online, you can probably find some invocations that do that sort of thing. I don't do it. Rosicrucians, I don't think, teach that. I've never heard of them talking about that. I'll have to do a little bit more research on that, but it's not coming to my mind. We don't cast circles either. Of course, Rosicrucians are like, you have our teachings, you do what you want to do. There is one other last thing about the watchtowers. In Enochian magic or alchemy, or in the Western esoteric traditions, those are represented by the chief archangels: Uriel, Raphael, Gabriel, Michael. Those are your 4 watchtower beings. And being angels and archangels, that puts them in a whole different realm of elementals or anything else. And they do more than just focus on an element or an attribute of an element. There's so much more. But you will usually hear about those angels being the watchtowers or the guardians. And Michael especially, we usually see as protection. And so in some teachings, you will start a ritual off with Uriel being before you, Raphael being behind you, to your left is Gabriel, and to your right Michael, and above Metatron. So we can't forget Metatron. So again, those are some ceremonial things that you can do if you're doing angelic magic or Enochian magic, or rituals or petitions. You can call on those angels, and usually, you know, they're there for protection. They're there to protect and to watch over all those aspects. And they each have their own colors and their own theme that goes with them as well. I won't get into that here, but at any rate, that's another way of how watchtowers can be called upon, or what that makes up necessarily. If you look in old pictures in the, you know, different Middle Eastern cities that you read about in the Bible, you see old watchtowers that have been abandoned or left. And these watchtowers were basically patrolled by people who would be the guards. They would be guarding over a town, or they would be guarding over a space. I guess like the local police hanging out. I don't know. I don't know how other way to make it more like modern times, but that's what a watchtower is. And it's thought that the Order of the Golden Dawn's founders used the term watchtowers probably inappropriately. They probably ascribed more to it than really what it was. Really, using watchtowers or calling them in is really a ceremonial magic thing. That's really what that is, probably not much more, not much less. And same with probably using the angelic magic as well, calling in the archangels. It's what it's for. It's a ceremonial step that you take for protection. So anyway, I hope this explanation of the watchtowers makes it a little bit clearer. As far as what that has to do with the Nephilim and the ancients, it is thought that they were the watchtowers of the dimensions. The Nephilim, or the Watchers, were the watchtowers. They guarded the upper world, and you know, made sure that things were safe that passed through, that were worthy of passing through. So that's where you would get a connection with that. I hope that's helpful. If any of you all have any other questions about this or any other thoughts on it, I would love to hear from you. And I hope everyone has a great week.